Hey everybody, Olivia coming to you from Idaho Springs, Colorado, just outside our cabin here. Today we are going to be using the small squishy ball, the stretchy band, and some hand weights. Anywhere from 1 to 5 pounds is good. Probably 1 to 3 pounds really is better than 5, but yeah. So if you are using the Spotify list, let's get that going. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, go. And right after I say go, we'll all press play. Oh, and we are going to start standing for those of you who are wondering. So here we go with the music. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, let's start standing and do a little bit of some isolation. So first, just kind of give it a little shake out, get the wiggles out. Just arrive in your body for a moment, maybe a few little stretches in all different directions. And then just kind of settling in. And just start to circle your head and neck. Make this circle as big as feels good to you right now. And these you can also do, most of them seated as well, if standing isn't friendly to you right now. Let's go the other way. Nice sense of a little gentle stretch through the neck and shoulders. And then find center and circle your shoulders forward, up, back, down, and around. Notice the sensation of your body breathing. Let your breath get a little fuller, a little slower. Let's go the other way. We're going to do about 3 to 5 in each direction for each body part. Moving the shoulder blades and the collarbones on top of the ribs. Last one. And now just one arm, elbow circle. Reverse. And then the other. Just nice free reverse, stirring around. And now the wrists. Loose fists with your hands. And then reverse. And then let your arms hang by your sides and circle through the rib cage. Think of some movement from the upper chest, front, side, back, side. Notice my hips are staying still. And then go the other way. Can you differentiate upper from lower? Still breathing, nice soft gaze. So you can use your peripheral vision to take in the space around you. And now let's switch to the hips. Big hula hoop circle with the hips. Still nice, easy breath, and then go the other way. And for now, let's think of breathing in and out through our nose as best you can. And then find stillness. And now just circle from the upper body down and around. So kind of going around the world, your arms just hanging loose. And then go the other way. So a little bigger rib cage circle. I feel a nice stretch between my shoulder blades when I come down and around. And then back to center. And now really stretch your arms down by your sides. Keep them nice and strong. And then you're going to hinge at the hips. Side, front, side, back. So now around the world from the hip joint. And if you can, let your head just hang down as you come down and around. And then let's go the other way. Arms reaching back behind you. And you just make it as big as feels good for your body. Regroup at the top. And now think into your knees. So get your feet a comfortable distance apart and then just stir your knees around. You can also put your hands on your knees if that helps you feel it. a little more clearly. And then reverse. So we get a little movement in the hip, knee, and ankle. And stretch up tall, and then circling around the edges of the feet. So I am letting my heels float up and down. And then go the other way. Head like a helium balloon floating away from the top of your spine. Your spine is the string just dangling down. And then shake out your legs a little bit. And let's stand on the right leg. You can use a chair or the wall for balance. Reach the left leg out in front and just circle that ankle from here. Reverse. So I'm leaning back just a little bit to counterbalance. And then take it out to the side. Circle from the side. I'm on a little bit of an incline, so some of this balance work is more challenging than usual. Let's go the other way. Soft knee on that standing leg. And now lean forward, leg back, and circle the ankle from there. And you can look down at the floor once you got the idea. Let's go the other way so you keep the length through the back of your neck. And then stand back up. Put your weight on that left foot. Reach the right leg out in front. Get some support if you need it, and then circle that foot around. Neck is nice and easy. Head back in line with the spine. Let's reverse. Soft standing knee. And now out to the side. Circle it around. Notice how my torso is kind of leaning on the diagonal. Reverse, and I'm pulling up away from my standing leg, looking straight out in front of me. And now leg to the back, hinge forward. Length through the back of your neck, space at the back of your throat. Reverse. And then put that foot down. Check that your knees are pointing straight ahead. Nod your chin, curl halfway down. Just put your hands on your knees and then lengthen head from tail into a little arch. And exhale, curl your tailbone under, roll back up. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, nod your chin, get a little stretch in the back of the neck, stretch between the shoulder blades, widening the lower back, and then lengthen head from tail. Feel some length in the hamstrings, your sit bones widening. Ground down evenly through both feet, bring the sit bones back together, roll it back up. One more time the same. Chin tucks in, and then you curl down. Lengthen, and here keep the length in the back of your neck. So it's a long fluid arc, head to tail, and then curl back up. Now this next one, we're just gonna go all the way down onto the floor and lay on our back. So just roll down, walk your hands out, place your knees down, and then roll onto your back, and just give your knees a nice big hug. Rock your body side to side. And then put your feet flat on the ground, arms by your sides. Tip your tailbone down and up, rocking on your sacrum. And then scoop your belly, peel your hips up into a bridge. Melt back down. Release past neutral, little tiny arch. And then drawing the belly in, widening out, pulling up, curling up. And then melt back down. Once more like this, warming up all those little articulator muscles in the spine just a bit more. Stay at the top, soften your tailbone, and then melt your chest away from your chin, roll back down. Now take your feet all the way together, your arms a little bit out to the sides, maybe all the way out like a T. And then twist your knees to the right, look back to the left, keep those ankles glued together. And then exhale, come back through center. Inhale to the left, the soles of the feet come off the ground, exhale back to center. Upper and lower body rotating in opposite directions. And then the obliques. To center yourself, balancing back in the middle. Once more each side. Last time. And then reach to find your weights. I've got 5 here, so I'm going to leave my weights out, but you grab yours if you have some, an appropriate weight for this. We're going to do our arm arcs and circles. So palms are up, holding the weights. Arc your arms up and back, turn your thumbs in, and then back down, pinkies in. Oh, it's starting to sprinkle on me a little bit. Let's see if it continues. We might have to go inside. Arcing back and down, and now fan those arms out to the sides, and then bring them right back in. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. One more time. Snow angels. And now big circle up through center, out and around. And you can just let your breath flow. Make sure you're taking nice full breaths. Doesn't have to be on every move. And now let's go the other way. Fan back out, arc down through the middle. Remember, if you're feeling any tension in your neck or your lower back, you might need a pillow just to prop your head up a little bit. Let your sternum soften. And now pause with your arms up in the center. Take your feet a little closer to your body. And if you want a little less challenge, you just put your arms down. Otherwise, keep the arms up. Press down evenly through both feet. And then like a drawbridge, just lift the hips off the ground. And then hinge at the hips to release back down. So let's keep it small for now. I'm going to press the hips up and down. I'm thinking of my sit bones coming together and apart. And I'm keeping my feet nice and flat on the ground. Notice if you start to roll towards the inner or the outer edge. And just keep repeating that for a moment. Let your toes relax. Try to find your weight distributed right between your shoulder blades at the top. And now this time we're going to stay up, hold it up there, and then scissor one arm up, one arm down. Notice if you're gripping around your tailbone, can you let the tailbone soften but keep the hips up? How high can you lift your hips without arching your back? Let your belly drop back toward your spine. And now arms center. Release your hips down, shake your tail feathers. And then let's add the marching to this. So you can either do just the arm scissors, just the bridge, go back to the original version, or press your hips up, stand on the right foot, heel the left foot, and let's take the left arm down, the right arm up, and then switch your arms and legs. Now remember, you can put your arms down and just do the lower body if that feels like enough. Otherwise, keep going with this combo. Try your best not to let your hip dip down as you lift your leg. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then release it down. Put the weights down, hug your knees, give your body a little rock side to side. In fact, let's do another twist real quick. Twist to the left, look back to the right. And then twist to the right, look back to the left. And now take your hands behind your head And then curl forward, just your upper body at first, and release back down. Exhale, drop your head back into your hands, slide your ribs toward your hips. Do your best not to let your belly dome or swell. Think of drawing in, widening out, pulling up on the lower abdominals and the pelvic floor. And now stay up, little pulses. 2, 3, 4. Little exhale like you're blowing through a straw with each pulse. 3, 2, 1, and then release back. Stretch your arms and legs for a moment. Maybe do a little heel rock. Regroup. And then bend those knees back in, hands back behind your head. This time curl up, lift one knee up. Alternate sides. Head dropping back into your hands, your elbows in your peripheral vision. And now let's add rotation to that. Armpit to hip rather than elbow to knee. So you really feel that rotation in your upper back, not the pelvis. One more time each side. Last time. Rest a second. And then let's curl up and twist across to the left and pulse right rib to left hip. You can also reach the right hand for the left leg. 3, 2, 1. Rest a second. Open, close your knees a few times. And then let's do the other side. Twist across and pulse. 2. Look right at that knee. So I'm reaching my left hand across to the right leg. If you look way past it, then you're probably twisting your pelvis too. Just the ribs. 3, 2, 1. Whew, stretch that out. Nice big full body yawn. And then let's flip over, face down. Take your weights with you. Shake your hips out a little bit, side to side. Rest your head on your hands. And just rest here a moment, kind of get all those kinks out. Release your shoulders away from each other. Maybe give the hips a little more shaken. And then just notice the sensation of your breath again. Think of breathing into the back and sides of your ribs. As you exhale, feel your belly draw away from the mat. One more, just the breath. And then on your next exhale, float the right leg straight up and back. Release it back down. Exhale the other side. I'm thinking of anchoring my pubic bone to the mat, keeping my hip bones light. So notice if your pelvis starts to rotate and you jam your hip bone down into the floor. Can you keep the hips nice and level and steady? So it's abdominals, glute, then hamstrings to lift that leg. Now double leg, lift and lower. One more. Leave your feet down, float your head and arms up. Back of the neck stays nice and long. And now let's switch which hand is on top. Widen across your lower back, traction your sacrum down between your heels, and then lift arms, legs, and head, and lower back down. We exhale up. Inhale down, keep those legs parallel, spin the upper inner thighs toward the sky and hold it. And now swim those legs. Inhale, 2, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set, 2, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it up, reach in all directions, and then release it down. Give it a little wiggle. turn one cheek to rest on the mat. You can grab your weights, or you can do this without weights too. Let your shoulders roll forward. Roll the shoulders now into the back pockets, and then exhale, abdominals draw in, float your head and arms up. Hold it there, anchor that tailbone, that pubic bone, and pump your arms. Little exhale with each pulse. 3, 2, hold it up, and then release to the other cheek. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, gather the sides of your waist, float it up, pump those arms. 2, 3, 4, 5. Triceps, mid-back, the hip extensors isometrically here. 4, 3, 2, and hold it up, and then release to the other cheek. Now, take your hands around to your lower back. If you can, interlace your fingers. Otherwise, just let the elbows rest on the ground, the back of your hand on the small of your back. Legs close together, as close as you can without discomfort. And then 3 little kicks of the legs. You bend your knees and exhale, exhale, exhale. Now, inhale, straighten your legs. Stretch your arms back. You can also do this just reaching the fingertips. Look a little bit out in front of you, and then come back to the other cheek. Legs together, hands to the small of the back. 3 kicks. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, lift up. Long arc through the back of the neck, and then release back down. And exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale. Open the chest, open and turn your legs out a little bit. 1 more set. Hamstring curl, 2, 3, and lift. And then just rest here for a second, bend your knees and rock your legs side to side. Just kind of massage your quads on the ground. Let them turn all the way to the left and linger for a moment. And then all the way to the right. And now turn them out, heels together, toes apart. Maybe prop yourself up, maybe rest your head on your hands. And then exhale, squeeze your heels and release. Pubic bone drawing up to the belly button. Tailbone curling under. 1 more long, smooth squeeze, and then little pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 2, 1, and then release that. Sit back into your child's pose or roll onto your back and hug your knees. Rock side to side. And then either twist your knees to one side or walk your hands to one side. Breathe into that open side. Try to relax the back of your neck, relax your shoulders, your jaw. And then take it to the other side. Nice big 3-dimensional breath. And then back to center. And just shift your weight forward. Let's go side lying now. Now, if you've got your squishy ball, grab that. You might be able to just use a cushion or a stuffed animal for this too. We're going to rest the top knee on the ball, straighten the bottom leg down in line with the spine, and rest your head on your arm, hand, or flatten your pillow out a little bit if you need to. And then we're going to inhale, roll forward. Exhale, press down, draw the ball back in. So the pelvis rotating, and then upper inner thigh, deep abdominals to bring you back to center. Nice, easy inhale and exhale. 1 more breath like that. And now stack your hips, stack your shoulders. Try to check that you're not twisting or arching your ribs. And then flex that bottom foot, toes straight ahead, knee straight ahead, lift it up and down. Check in that your leg is back in line with your spine. It's not drifting forward. Sometimes the hip flexors try to take over. 3 more like this, reaching through the inner edge of the heel. And now gentle point of your toes and little circles. Nice, easy breath. And then reverse. 4 more. 2 and 1. Good. All right, take the ball away. Pull the bottom knee in toward your chest. 90-90. Get your head back in line with your spine. And then let's do some hydrants. Just lift that leg up and down. Top foot is flexed. The bottom leg can press down into the floor just a little bit. Notice if you immediately drift that hip back. Can you keep your hips squared and stacked? And now circle that knee. Two more in that direction. And now reverse. Two more all the way around, keeping the hips steady. And then float that knee in line with the hip, flex your foot, push your heel back. Hinge at the hip to bring it forward. Now my head placement is a little bit off because I've got these earphones in, but you want to try to really square your head back in line with your spine, look straight ahead, or use your peripheral vision. Keep the leg back, isometric hold, or grab that foot. Give your quad a little stretch, really tuck your tailbone under. Ooh, draw your belly in and up. And then swing that leg straight out in front of you. Rotate your upper body back. Maybe reach for behind that knee, the ankle, or the pinky toe side of your foot. You can also have your knee bent here if that feels like too much, if you feel your neck or your back tensing. Roll that top hip away from your ribs. Oh, just breathe into any sticky spots. Got some traffic coming. All right, let's do all that on the other side. Finding your way onto the other side. First, let's have the bottom leg straight, the top knee bent with your knee on the ball. Nice neutral spine as best you can. Make all those little adjustments, get your pillow if you need it. And then inhale, rock forward. Exhale, stack it back up. Nice, gentle opening of the inner thigh. And then upper inner thigh, deep abdominals to bring you back. It's also the little postural muscles in the lumbar spine, which can get pretty stiff and tight. So giving them a little bit of movement and hydration as well. All right, now let's keep our hips stacked, shoulders stacked. Point that knee straight ahead, leg in line with the spine, and lift that leg up and down. I'm just gently drawing back on the pinky toe side of my foot, reaching through the inner edge of my heel, keeping that rib to hip integration. And you can use your hands to check your form too. Sometimes that helps. And let's do 2 more like that. And then point your toes, little circles. Find the space behind you. It's easy for a leg to drift forward here and the hip flexors to kick in. Reverse. Now notice my that front foot is resting on the ground. I'm not trying to float that leg up. So really let the top leg relax. 3, 2, 1, and then rest. Whew. Put the ball off to the side, pull that bottom knee in, get square, belly drawing in and up, lift that top leg up and down. Check in where your eyes looking. Can you take in the whole room without changing your head placement? Just look in all different directions. And now circle it. Don't let that hip hike up. Maybe put your hand on your hip and just keep that length in the top side of your waist. And then reverse it. Still breathing. And then let it rest. Make any adjustments. Now float that leg, flex that foot, press the heel back. Hinge at the hip to bring it forward. Really let the weight of your head fall into your hand, your arm, your pillow. I just caught myself kind of holding my head up with my neck. Can you let that soften? Squeeze the glute and hamstring as you press back. It's a dynamic way to get a little open in the hip flexor. And now let's just hold it back there. Maybe grab that foot. Breathe into that open hip, knee down in line with the hip. And now swing that leg out in front, flex your foot, rotate back, maybe bend that knee, maybe reach all the way for your pinky toe. Oh, just breathe into that twist, spinning the top hip away from your ribs, the top sit bone, reaching toward the inner edge of the bottom heel, the bottom leg, softening. Oh. And then roll forward, press yourself up. Let's do a little bit of seated work. Let's see where we're at with time. We're doing good. All right, so grab your weights. Find your sit bones. So maybe do a little rocking and rolling on the sit bones. You can also go to sit in a chair for this as well. If cross-legged doesn't work for you. And let's just do some bicep curls. Curling your arms up and down. Keep that going. And now this time, add a shoulder press overhead, and then bring it back down and down. Shoulders are level, ribs back over your hips. No arching or curling in the spine. Crown of the head floating up. And now just the shoulder press up and down. You can play with turning your palms to face different directions. Notice how that gives you a little different sensation in your shoulders. And then keep your arms up, open, and close, like you're giving the moon a big hug up overhead. Now notice if you start to pop your ribs forward, can you keep the back bottom ribs nice and wide, the kidneys nice and buoyant? One more. Stay up, rotate to one side, open, just to shoulder height, and then quick, back to the center. We inhale slow, exhale quick. Notice if you start to drift your ribs to one side, can you keep it a true vertical spiral? One more. And then bend it back down. Lean forward, tricep kickbacks. Then you can play with which direction your palms are facing. You lean forward, draw your belly back toward your spine for support. 3 more. 2, 1. All right, put the weights aside. Let's trade for the band. And just wrap the band around your ribs. Let's do a little chest press. Pressing out in front, palms facing each other. Shoulders nice and level, ribs balanced back over your hips. The pelvis nice and level. We're sitting just atop the sit bones. Maybe a little in front or behind. And now let's go palms up. So let's check what happens if I sit behind my sit bones, a little too much in front, and can I find somewhere in the middle? And now palms down. Nod and bobble your head and neck a little bit just to check in, you're not tensing there. And now out at a 45, so the middle of the shoulder. Your ears widening out to the sides to help bring your head back in line with your spine. And now keep your arms straight. Rotate to one side, exhale, 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 inhale. Other side. Bend those elbows in, I forgot that. Then reach and twist. 2, 3, inhale, reset in the center. We exhale and pulse. 2, 3. Last set each side. 3. And last one. 2, 3. And return. Good. Take the band around in front. And this time, hold it with your hands about shoulder distance apart. Palms down, arms straight. And then draw the band in toward your chest, arms straight out to the sides. Still checking in. Can I keep from pushing my head forward? Can I keep that nice buoyancy at the occipital joint, that place right where my skull meets my spine? Feel all those little muscles between your shoulder blades. That's your mid, low traps, your rhomboids. They help to bring your head back in line with your spine as well. And now one arm up, one arm down. Keep that lift in the lower abdominals. Keep the width across the lower back. Let's do one more each side. And now arms straight up overhead. Pause here. Push the right arm up, lean off to the left, and then pull down with that left arm. Now I'm keeping my wrists really straight. Watch out for breaking at the wrist. Think of pulling from under that arm. That's your latissimus. And then come back up to center. Push that left arm up, lean off, little side bend to the right, and then pull down. Try to keep your wrists straight and strong, so send energy through the knuckles. Notice if you're adding rotation in the ribs or the cervical spine, can you keep it a true side bend? And then come back up to center, and let's go up and over, pull down, and to the other side. I like to inhale up, exhale into the side bend. And then arms come up behind, stretch and open the chest. Bring it back up and down in front. Now, if that feels pretty intense, you just get a little more slack on the band. Once more like that, the half moon stretch. Ah, yeah. Nice. All right, let's take the band with us and lay down on our backs, face up. So grab your pillow. Oh, yes, this is perfect timing. We're going to do a little leg strengthening and stretching with the band now. So just find the middle of the mat, prop your head up if you need to soften your sternum, lengthen the back of your neck, and now wrap the band around the right foot. Start with an underhand grip. So I'm taking my thumb and hooking it under. So I'm not wrapping the band around my hand. And then elbows on the ground, and we press out, demi-point, fold it back in. Now just look over here a second and check out my ankle position. So this is dorsiflex, this is plantar flexed. When you press, I want you to plantar flex, point through the ball of the foot, and then dorsiflex, fold it back in. Now notice if you start to tense the back of your neck or arch your back, can you keep your belly drawing in and up? Can you lead with the back of the leg? So I'm thinking of squeezing around my sit bone, my glute and hamstrings, then my kneecap draws up to fully engage all four heads of the quad. Now swing it up. And then exhale, scoop your belly on the way down. We inhale, hinge. Exhale, hollow the belly. Now you can bend your knee a little bit if you're tight to bring it up so that your tailbone can relax. And now this time, keep that leg up. Bend your knee just a little bit and then demi-point and flex. So you see how my toes stay pulled back. I'm really pressing through the ball of my foot, not my toes. And the bend in the knee is to activate a little more of the soleus, put a little more focused work in the deeper calf muscle. Now let's circle that foot and ankle around. Notice if you started to scrunch the back of your neck or tighten around your tailbone, let that soften, and let's go the other way. Pressing, kind of scraping with the ball of the foot around. And then bend that knee, just rest that heel on your other knee for a second, wiggle your hands, and now kick it up. Draw that leg toward you. Static stretch. Bend your knee as deeply as you need to let your tailbone unravel and let the sit bones widen. And then reach across your midline. And I like to use the same side hand and see how I'm pulling my elbow back toward the floor and then sickling my foot. So big toe down, outer edge of the heel up. And you can use the other hand, palm toward you, to bring the leg toward you. Spin that sit bone toward the inner edge of the other heel. And now open it out to the other side. Switch to the other hand, pull back like a bow and arrow. Use this same side arm to draw the leg toward you. Counterbalance with the other knee. And then swing it back up to center. And let's switch to the other foot in the band. Underhand grip, elbows down. Press out, demi-point, plantar flex, and then fold back in, dorsiflex the ankle. Find that sit bone, locate that left sit bone in your mind's eye, and think of initiating from the belly and then around that sit bone, the glute and hamstrings. Feel that lift of your kneecap as you straighten your leg all the way out, or as much as you can without discomfort. And let's do that a few more times. This time, keep your leg straight. Swing it straight up. Exhale, hollow your belly as you lower your leg down. So we get some nice strengthening for the lower abdominals while dynamically stretching and strengthening the hamstrings. And I'm keeping my leg parallel. You can also play with turning out or in a few times. And this time, keep your leg up, bend your knee, not quite halfway, and then press Up and down, plantar and dorsiflex. The front of the ankle lengthens and then folds back in. Check in with your shoulders, your neck, just regroup there. And now let's circle that foot around. Soften the space behind your collarbones. Let the collarbones widen and then reverse. Let the tailbone unravel. And now bend that knee, rest. Wiggle your fingers and then stretch that leg back up, climb up the band. Draw your leg toward you, pinky toe side toward the inner edge of the heel away. Deep enough bend that you can let your head and tail release away from each other, get wider across the back of your pelvis. And now reach across your midline, same side hand pulling back, the elbow toward the floor, sickle that foot, big toe down, outer edge of the heel up. Bring it toward you, relax the other leg, foot and ankle. Spin that hip open, the left sit bone toward the inner edge of the right heel. Oh, still breathing. And then switch to the opposite hand, pulling back, counterbalance. Widen your pubic bone, your sit bones. Let the pubic bone lengthen away from your sternum as your leg draws towards you. And then bring it back to center. Take the band and let's put it to the side. Regroup a moment, legs straight. Arms reach up into a big X. And then we're just going to think of drawing the same side rib and hip together and going side to side. So I'm lengthening one side of my waist as the other side shortens, reaching one leg past the other leg, one arm past the other arm. And then I'm going to side bend and roll all the way onto one side. And then open back up to the big X. Lead with the side bend and then roll onto that side. Let's alternate a few times. The kidneys right around the back bottom ribs, the lower back, lead you back onto the floor. So notice if you start to arch your back or lead with the legs, try to lead with your kidney space. Let's do one more time each side. Last time. And then bend your knees, feet flat. Roll your hips up into a bridge. Shift your hips side to side. Equal weight into both feet. And for now, we're trying to keep our hips level. Notice if you dome your belly, try to let the belly drop back toward your spine. Let your lower back lengthen and widen. And now let's find the middle and just dip one hip and then the other. So one glute releases and then it lifts you back up. And now put those together into a big spiral. I kind of like to have my hands on my hip bones just to feel what's happening there. You can also do a little rib check. Let's reverse. And I keep fairly even space between my ribs and hips throughout. So the movement's really coming from the hip joint, not from my spine changing shape. And then find the middle, shift to the right, roll down the right side, rest the hips on the ground, straighten the left leg, pull the right knee in toward you. Let it open out toward that armpit and let's stand into the left foot like you're standing straight up. Feel that energy through the crown of your head, down through the tail, down through the heel. Oh, breathe into the front of the left hip, the back of the left knee. And now relax the left leg, just circle that right foot and ankle around. Reverse. And then twist that knee across. Bend the bottom knee, look back to the right. Breathe into the right side. And then come back through center. Find the middle of the mat again. Peel it up. And this time, let's stay up there for a moment. Pivot on your heels, turn your knees out, then back together, parallel, and sit your hips down. So we're gonna lift the hips, open the knees and the feet, parallel, drop down. Keep repeating that. There's 4 parts, 3, 4. We lift, open, close, down. Lift, open, close, last one. And then press it up, shift side to side. No arch in the back. And then stay to the left, roll down the left side, straighten the right leg, pull that left knee in, flex that right foot like you're standing flat on the ground. Energy up through the tops of the ears, that knee coming in toward your armpit. Breathe into the front of the right hip, the back of the right knee. Your ears widening out to the sides. Sternum softening, shoulders wide. And then relax the right leg, circle that left foot and ankle. Reverse. And then twist across. Look back to the left. Breathe into that left side. Boy, it sure is a treat to be looking up at a tree in the sky while doing all of this. So if your eyes are open, just keep a soft gaze, kind of take in the space around you. Otherwise, you can close your eyes and just look at the space inside your body. Can you see inside and outside at the same time? Sensing internal and external. And then just continue to roll your upper body forward now. Press yourself up to sitting. Maybe get up in a chair if you need to, or just prop your hips up a little higher. Crisscross applesauce. And then let's go for a side bend, up and over. And to the other side, cartwheeling those arms. And now push the floor away from you. Nice fluid movement through the spine, through your arms. And this time, arms out like a T. Rotate to the left. And then reach across to the left. The back hand is going to turn palm up, thumb in. You stretch the shoulders. And then come back up. And rotate to the other side. I curl up and over, flex. Backhand, palm up. And then come back to center. And now rotate around, opposite hand to knee. Look over the back shoulder. Narrow your waistline, grow a little taller through that back ear. Release and go to the other side. Lifting through the top of that back ear, waistline hugging your spine. And then come back to center. And now just to finish, open and close your hands really wide. That feels nice. And then keep your hands spread wide, circle your thumbs. Reverse. And then circle the index fingers. Reverse. Middle fingers go the other way. Ring fingers, reverse, and pinkies. So just finishing with some circling, the same as we began. Reverse, shake out your hands. Oh, take a breath. And you are done, my friend. All right, I look forward to seeing you all live next week.